Today, everything comes together. Calculation, pattern recognition, and psychology are all going to merge into multi-layered tactical chains. This is where you have a shot at true mastery. One move sets up the next, and your opponent walks straight into your web. Stay until the end. This sequence is genius. So check it out. I'm dropping you 10 seconds like we always do. You'll find it way up there in the corner. And, like usual, solve this puzzle 10 seconds. That's all you got. On your mark, get set, go! All right, that's it. You ran out of time. How did you do? Make sure you let me know. Just drop it in the comments. Tell me what you thought of the puzzle. Have you ever made that one move that sets off a chain reaction that your opponent never saw coming? Well, this next move triggers chaos on the chessboard. Welcome to day 20 of elevating your game with 303 tactical chess puzzles. I'm vryBot, a US certified coach and international expert, and today we're talking about moves that connect. Forks that lead to pins, pins that lead to mates, sacrifices that blow up in the entire position. Your goal today is to find those tactics that create that domino effect, a chain reaction, if you will. Let's put it to work right now. How'd you do with the 10-second puzzle? Did you find queen to c8? Move is just too clear. Rook takes, pawn takes, and we're going to have a mate in the back, so black can't go down that line. He's going to have to try something else, right? King takes. Hey, is that getting away with it? No. That's game over as well. This one's a bit like a step ladder checkmate. Let's go back. Well, what move did the authors intend? Well, they were trying to work out that on rook takes, queen goes to the back, then you have a mate back here. Problem with that, however, is that once you check the king here, he can wiggle out. Yes, we're going to have monster attacking chances and big material to win the game. And how did you fare against yesterday's bonus puzzle? Let's check that out right now. So the first thing you needed to do was harass the knight. This takes a pawn and hits a knight. Now if the knight just leaves, you win a pawn, right? So let's go away. The trouble is that this knight is in big danger. We capture here, and we've won 2 pawns for nothing. A lot of times, it won't even be noticed that the knight is trapped like this. He takes back. Well, now d5 shows the whole problem, right? The knight has no forward squares because of the pawn. He has no sideways squares because of the rook. So he's been trapped. Let's go back. So that's why black kind of noticed this, and they can play over here, lose a pawn. One other idea is to play rook captures, and then the line continues. Bishop to a4, we're going to hit this. Well, let's say he just runs away. Well, we hit him with a pawn, and now the rook's trapped. So he's been bothered by all these pieces on the board, so he just nabs up what he can and lose some material in the meantime. Okay, maybe the rook simply goes back. Seems right, right? Nope. The knight is under attack behind him. So maybe he protects the knight. This looks really good. This looks fine. But then knight to c4 asks him to leave again. He's got to stay guarding the knight. Knight gets out safely, but we're getting a rook. And that's the end of that exchange. Today's bonus puzzle is going to be even more chaos than that one. But for now, we're just going to keep cruising along with our daily puzzles. Now here's a combination that can separate the amateurs from the champions. Let's put our method together real quick. We're going to check the material. Materially, white has 5 pawns, so does black. We've got 2 minor pieces, so does black. We've got the 2 heavies and the queen, so does black. So again, one of those situations where you might be lulled into thinking that this is very equal position. This is not a very equal position at all. Knight to f6 is astounding. Pulling the king out like pulling teeth, he has to come out to f7. What happens if he scoots over to h8. Well, the queen, the rook, the knight, everybody's lined up there. Take a pick. Just don't pick the knight. You could play queen takes or rook takes, and that will be mate. Knight takes would just be a pawn and losing your queen. So, ouch. So the king is pulled out. Here he comes. Now what? I found knight to g8. I was really impressed with knight to g8. It cuts off the king popping out to e7. The king has no move other than to capture the knight, and then we would mate him here, now that we've covered the f7 square. But let's head back just a moment. Black can also shove their knight in the way, guarding their king. Rook takes with check, and it's actually a fork on the king and the queen, so he's got to recapture. We take, and we're up a ton of material. The computer was trying to suggest that knight takes rook is even stronger. Can you spot the moves that most beginners miss? There's a few things going on here, but rook to a8 will seal the deal. With bishop takes, we have that Bowden's mate, very similar to what we saw a couple days ago in day 17 or 18. Make sure you're keeping up with the videos. There's a lot of work to do. Bishop blocks, bishop takes, and with the knight's help, this crisscross Bowden's checkmate is still possible. So that leaves the knight's guarding. If this knight guards, we're going to mate him right in his face immediately. So black tries to stay alive for a moment longer, but on rook takes, the king can't take because of the bishop. So knight takes, and then we get that mate we were just talking about. Speaking of mates, wait until you see the third to last puzzle. Whoa. And this one is a good old-fashioned queen trapping. Let's see how quickly you can put it together. Queen's over there. She's entered our territory. Though there's some safety on squares like this at the moment, how can we even possibly have the time to just simply castle? But castling is the brilliant move. This is the move that sets off the domino effect, the chain reaction. We are building the position. Now, she can try to wiggle, maybe escape the discovery that was happening here. You see, the bishop was always threatening to take a knight and then expose the rook onto the queen, but only once the rooks were connected. We go back and just play bishop takes. Well, we're going to lose our rook with check. Now we're busted. So, once the rooks were connected, that immediately signaled that there's a discovery. Bishop will move, threatening the queen with the rook. So, queen to b5, does that escape? Doesn't, because the rook slides over. Now she's truly trapped. Like a6, well, we're going to trap her immediately. Or a4, we're going to trap her immediately. The two rooks are taking everything. There's one try. She can go queen to a5, and now she might escape. Here she comes, and she's wiggled out. But we captured a free minor piece for our efforts. Nice bag and tag. Okay, this one you're going to need a tactic to turn the tides in your favor immediately. We're going to play queen to c1, and what this does is it sets up a pin it to win it. So if the rook moves, for instance, we could take the queen. Well, maybe they play rook to here, guarding their queen. That doesn't work in this type of position because we just capture. Okay, that leaves another option. What about rook takes? So rook takes is going to guard the queen and take a pawn. Looks like everything's fine. But the rook was also pinned to a square, unfortunately. So once we get to the back rank here and the king pops out, we're going to get a free rook. Let's try something else. King comes out to the side. That seems feasible, doesn't it? Now all of a sudden, this pawn who had started off threatening our queen has now disappeared off the chessboard, never was a threat, and we have another one of those stepladder checkmates. Similar again. Let's back up just a little bit again. All right, what else can they play? They could play rook f2, that's about it. Queen takes, and they're down a rook. Why? Because in every variation, they're going to lose a rook or even more. This comes with check. That's a big thing to notice, is that this is check, and then the other rook falls. So there's no wiggling out queen for 2 rooks. Today's puzzles are designed to teach you that tactics don't live in isolation. When the authors either found this puzzle or composed this puzzle, they were intending to show you that in a lot of situations, the rook needs to get out of the way to give a check so that the king would come over, and then we would threaten other neat little traps like taking the rook or checkmating on f7 here. Let's take these arrows off for just a minute and let's see if you can spot what they didn't notice. I spotted it immediately. I was furious reading the answer key, thinking that my move was not correct because it's an immediate checkmate. Okay, there's not much to discuss here. We're just going to go check on the back. And that just shows you that even masters can make mistakes sometimes. We've got this completely surrounded. The only move they can do is put their bishop in the way. And once we take it, we're guarding this square is guarded, and we're slicing right through. So this is a back rank checkmate. We're using the help from the knight and, of course, the dovetail technique of the queen. She also guards this square at the same time. Maybe you found it before I was finished speaking. Hey, nice job. Now this one, I've just got to say, it's an impressive puzzle. I'm just really happy with this puzzle. The first thing to notice is that the king is really cramped here. All right. There's stuff all over and near him. And these guys, even though they're so far away, they both threaten the king quite a bit, even from their far outpost. What's the correct move here? Knight to e3 is just amazing. If rook takes, we're going to play a slightly unexpected rook to d2. Some people might play queen to f2, for example. This will give white a chance to wiggle out. Rook to d2 gives him none. King to c1, only move. Queen to g1. Block with the pieces like a computer. Each one in a row, and the game's over. Let's back up just a little bit. That made me wonder at first thought if rook to d2 was possible. And I saw this beautiful combination. Pawn takes and queen takes. But the trouble here is on knight to e3, which I thought was so brilliant, the king just steps over to d3. This square has been vacated now since the rook no longer lives here on d8. So we do have to clearly go with knight to e3 first. What happens on pawn takes? A similar but slightly different fashion. If rook takes, which is implied, queen takes. And this is an X-ray, how the queen works through the rook to get to the bishop's help. Just all in all, a very impressive puzzle. I was happy with this one quite a bit. And oh, goody goody, like a kid in a candy shop, an endgame puzzle. Are you guys excited to see the endgame puzzle? Knight to h3. This threatens rook, 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 mate. All right, let's see it. Let's just see it, okay? Let's just play some bad move so I can show you. Rook to the back and mate. The Arabic or Arabian mate, I believe. So let's back up. White can only play moves that are going to guard the g1 square. These are the only moves that he could play. For instance, rook f to f1, in which case we have the beautiful check and mate with the knight. We're guarding this square, and the knight in a way is smothering the king. So a bit of a smothered mate. Let's try another move. Knight to e2, will that save him? Well, now we have rook takes e2. That one seems simple enough. And you can see that it's hopeless for white. Now, speaking of chain reactions, dominoes, and boss moves, this is just a fun puzzle. But guess what? I won't be giving you the answer. You can give me the answer if you ever want to. Just drop it down in the comments. But this is today's secret puzzle. Make sure you pause it, take a snapshot of it, or go set it up on a chessboard. You can solve it any time at your convenience. Just let me know how you did. And after the secret puzzle comes the bonus puzzle. Of course, I will give you the answer to the bonus puzzle, but you're just not going to be getting that answer from me today. In the next video, I'll give you the answer to this puzzle. Make sure you run the method. You're going to count the material real quick, look for checks, captures, and threats, and then you should be able to solve this hands down, no problem. Thank you for sticking around all the way to the last puzzle. If this video helped you see deeper into the board, make sure to smash that subscribe button and never miss a future video. Day 21 will take everything we've learned and add to it. So stick around for that video. Here's another opportunity to invite you into chess coaching with me. So I'm going to take it. This is vryBot.com. That's vryBot.com. You go there and you click on services. It'll bring you to this page. Set up your future in chess just the way we've been using these domino effect in the game with moves. Check out chess coaching with vryBot. Drop me a line. You can hire me right from this page. Then don't forget to click on community. That's going to bring you over to this page. It's free to join Discord and send me a message with questions or concerns about your chess future. All right, you've got another chance to subscribe. Just go ahead and hit the vryBot character and that'll pull out the hover card so that you can subscribe real easy. You should have a link to another video that's related to this one as well as the playlist right here. I want to thank you for joining day 20. We are now cruising along real fast. I'll see you in the next video. GG's!